Most authors query agents way too early in the book process, not because they're impatient, but because nobody has ever told them what ready actually means. Ready does not mean your book is finished. Ready does not mean your spouse loved it. Ready does not mean that it's the best thing that you've ever written. Ready means it can compete with everything else that is in the agent's inbox. Right now in this marketplace, against every other book, that is when your book is ready. This is a different bar, and most authors have never been told that this is the level that they need to be ready. Here's the landscape of what you're dealing with and what you're querying into. A single literary agent may receive more than 100 query letters per week. Some receive 1,500 in a single month. I know for us, we are bombarded every day with at least 50 submissions. And we like to read every submission that comes through our doors. Agents request full manuscripts fewer than 1% of that time. And there's a reason. There's just too much out there for them to really handle all that we need to do to review those. The average agent signs really only one new client per year. That's one client per year from thousands of queries. This isn't to discourage you. It is to help you understand the bar that when you're ready, you've got to be ready. Your manuscript needs to be exceptional, not good, but beyond exceptional. The query and manuscript have to work as one package, and that is like lightning striking in a bottle. If you query before your manuscript is ready, if the pacing is off, if the hook doesn't feel like it lands, if the voice isn't really fully developed, you will get rejection upon rejection and fast. And these are from agents that you loved. Here's the part that really hurts. Most agents keep a mental record of who has queried them before. If you query early in this process with a weak manuscript and then revise it later, and then you think you're going to go back out and send it to that agent, you may not get a chance to get that agent again and get her attention. I've watched authors query the same agent more than I can count. Same book, different title, and that agent remembered. And it did not bode well on the author, knowing that nothing changed, just a different pitch, a different positioning. But if you take the time to get it right, really get that strong query letter, it can change your entire career. And more than 20 years of working with my authors, I can say that most authors who come to me are not ready to query. And I have the luxury of being able to review and look at their query and tell them and comment to them what they need to do to fix that query. I don't always know what the secret sauce is to get my attention, because I sometimes also think it's that lightning striking. It has to depend on the weather and depend on the mood. But I know this, when a query is so basic and it doesn't stop me, yeah, I'm done. I'm definitely done with it. What grabs me is something so dynamic, something that's so alive that I haven't really seen before. I have an author that did query too early, and it was just really because she was impatient and no one really told her what the process was and really asked her these certain questions that you need to ask yourself. It's, what does the revision journey look like for you? Do you really feel like you need to take this moment to send it out today? Do you feel like you're actually ready? If you don't feel like you're ready, you're probably not. But there is this way of understanding, if you think you're ready and you feel unsure of yourself, then maybe you should try. But there are certain things that you should see in your query note that will help you get to that level of ready. And I understand. I've had authors tell me all the time, I've been revising this book for 2 years. I'm ready. I want you to read it, please. Sometimes I just got to let it go. And that's true. If you feel like you're ready, you're definitely ready. And I am a person that is sometimes holding it back a little bit and having the author wait a little bit for their query moment. But again, I understand progress over perfection here. So that's absolutely the point. You do have to let it go. But here's what I want you to see. There's a version of the not ready that's actually perfectionism in disguise. And there's a version of ready that's actually fear in disguise. Neither one of these serve you. So here's the real test. Give your manuscript to 5 external readers, people who do not know you or the genre, and ask for specific, detailed feedback. Again, this is not someone on the streets. Try to find someone that is you adjacent. They understand you, or maybe they don't know you at all, but they're in your social circle. Send it to them and see what they have to say. If there's 3 people that you've sent it to in this process, and there's only one comment of saying that this is amazing, it's not ready. If one person says that the protagonist feels rushed, well, take a look at it. If all 3 of them unanimously say this is good and there's probably no more work to do, you can go ahead and send it. But that's the truth. Send it to people who don't know you, 3 to 5 strangers, see what they come back with. And let's just talk for a minute about what a query letter is. A query letter, well, what a query letter is not. A query letter isn't a resume. A query letter is not a cover letter. Although it seems like it's a cover letter, you should think of a query letter as the best foot forward for your summary of the book that also includes a little bit more about yourself and about what your intentions are with the book. This query letter is something that everyone talks about in the industry, and there are some that are bombs and there are some that are better than bombs. I would encourage you to walk through a query letter process of learning the difference between something that looks like a formalized letterhead or something that's a dynamic, moving, living, breathing, beautiful document that is your representation of your manuscript. This query letter is a deep precursor to then what also should be included, which is a treatment and your manuscript. The treatment is, again, something that's similar to a proposal, but it shares a little bit more deeper of what the book's about and a little bit more about you. This point of this package, this total package, will help you see the value of getting something broader than just this one formal note saying, hey, I've got a book. Also, I think it's funny that I think there's some type of authors that love to have query notes sent out and just keep sending them out to people, sending 50 at a time. While I think that's a great strategy for some, I don't know if it's a strategy that I would pursue, that I would like for an author that I know of to pursue. It takes a lot of work to put out a great query letter. And I would do some research on who you actually want to reach out to and who is the right person to work with your book. There's a difference between sending out 50 query letters and finding 50 people, 50 agents that you believe really connect with your material. I would do a lot of research on who that person is as an agent and as a person. There's countless ways of how to do research and different sites of how to find out who they are. And that's where I would really spend your time. Before you start working and finishing your query letter, I would work on who those 50 people are. If you're going to send the book to 50 people, I'd work on who those 50 people are, who you're actually going to be sending this book out to. There's so many opportunities to find the right person for you. It may not be 50, it may just be 5 people just to reach out to. One note about if you do find, again, let's just say it's 5, not 50. If you do find 5 people that you want to work on reading your query letter and your book package, make sure you find someone who knows who's worked with them. Do research on who that person is. It totally helps to find the right person because you never know. It could be me, but it could be my next door, but it could be another agent. It may not be right fit for me. So make sure you do research on who that person is so that they know, so you know what you're getting into by sending it to them. So what I want to share with you are 5 key signals of how your manuscript is actually ready to query to agents. Signal 1, 2 developmental edits. Here's what I mean. You need to find 2 editors to do developmental edits on your book. So imagine you finished your manuscript. It looks great. You feel really confident about it. You're ready to go. I'd hold off. I'd find an editor who is a best-selling book editor that has the freelance opportunities to review and developmentally work on your manuscript. You'd be surprised of how the shape takes place and how different the manuscript looks after you receive one developmental edit. The reason why I say 2 is because sometimes this 2 editors will say different things, but they're complementary of each other. So 2, not at the same time, 1 editor to work through it, review that, work through the manuscript, and then after you feel like it's taken shape, send it to someone else. And that doesn't mean you have to take all of the developmental edits from both editors, but it does mean you have great insight from two people that may say the same thing, but may enhance it in different ways. Signal two, beta readers in your genre, not friends, not family. Get readers who love your genre that you are positioning this book to. Is it a memoir? Well, get the best friend that you know that can read your book, that will fall in love with it and see what they have to say, and that can compare their work, your work, to what they've already read. This is a crucial step to get feedback from people. You don't have to take it, but it's helpful to know that you feel like you've got something here that's bigger than just yourself. Signal three, a professional editor. Again, after this developmental pass, still clean up the manuscript as tight as possible. Remember, this is even before you query. Make sure you have an amazing, tight, beautifully fresh, shiny looking manuscript to prepare to send to people when you do the query. Signal four, this one sentence pitch. Yes, you should have it written down, but make sure if you are able to pitch your book in one sentence, you're ready to go. But if you can't, put that book into one sentence and wrap it up in a pretty bow. When someone asks you, Nina, what's your book about? If I don't know in one sentence what it stands for and what it says, then maybe I don't understand it, and maybe I'm not able to put it into a query note yet. An agent, if you don't think you know, then an agent will have no idea what you're talking about. So spend the time, work on this elevator pitch. And I would actually visit authorsascent.com. I have a perfect blueprint that will help you if you would like to review it. Signal five, read the last 10 comps of what you believe your book is next to. What's a comp? A comp is a comparable title. Some people call it competitive. A competitive title to your book that would be similar in a genre, and your book would sit next to that one. What I mean by this is to read books that are recent of your genre so that you get a feel for who and what is editing. What does it read like? Does my book look similar? And it helps you figure out what it fits like. Agents need to know how to position your book. And so this clarity will really help when you're trying to pitch this book to people. So when your book feels ready, and it's probably not, but when it feels ready, keep working, keep going, and work on your pitch, your elevator pitch, and these 5 signals. I'll definitely, if you want me to help you, comment below, and I'm happy to share more insights with you. If you're ready, I can send you 10 questions that can help you get very clear on what to do next for your manuscript. If your manuscript's ready, contact us. I'm happy to review it. And I'm definitely ready to read anything that you say that you believe it's ready after you know these 5 signals. And I look forward to hearing what you think about this video and what you think about the next video. Thanks.